Have you ever wondered how one ordinary Sunday could become the most frightening day of someone's life? This is the story of Isaac, a young man who came closer to death than he ever imagined, all because of one small decision. On that Sunday morning, Isaac woke before sunrise, just as he always did. Sundays were special to him, and before leaving for worship, he made sure every responsibility at home was completed. He carefully made his bed, determined to finish everything before it was time to leave. The morning was peaceful. Warm sunlight slowly crept through the window as Isaac moved from one chore to another. He swept the living room, tidied the house, and kept glancing at the old wall clock hanging on the wall. With every passing minute, he became more anxious. When he looked again, his heart sank. It was already 7:30 am. He still had to finish getting ready, eat breakfast, and make the long walk to church. Without wasting another second, he hurried into his room, buttoned his light blue shirt, grabbed his Bible, and rushed toward the kitchen. On the kitchen counter sat an old ceramic mug. Isaac reached for it without thinking. He didn't stop to wash it. The kettle was already steaming, and there was no time to spare. He poured himself a cup of hot tea, ate a few slices of bread, and quickly finished his breakfast. Everything seemed perfectly normal. There was no strange smell. No unusual taste. Nothing that could have warned him that this ordinary morning was about to become unforgettable. Bible in hand, Isaac locked the front door behind him and began walking quickly along the quiet road. The cool breeze brushed against his face as the village slowly came to life. He hurried on, hoping he hadn't missed too much of the service. By the time he arrived, worship had already begun. Trying not to disturb anyone, Isaac quietly entered through the back and found a seat. He placed his Bible on his lap and settled into the service, grateful that he had made it. For a while, everything was peaceful. Then suddenly, a sharp pain shot through his head. Isaac raised his hand and held his forehead. Sweat began to gather on his face, and the pain grew worse with every passing second. Before he could understand what was happening, another frightening sensation swept over him. His stomach began to swell. Fear filled his eyes as he pressed both hands against it. Something was terribly wrong. Unable to remain seated any longer, Isaac quietly stood up and slowly walked out of the church. A few people turned to look at him with concerned expressions, but he didn't stop to explain. He just wanted to get home. The journey back felt endless. Every step became harder than the last. He clutched his stomach tightly as he walked alone down the dusty road, fighting through the pain and praying he would make it before collapsing. Once he reached home, he rushed through the hallway toward the bathroom, terrified by what was happening to his body. But even after that, the pain refused to leave. Exhausted, Isaac collapsed onto the cool cement floor of his bedroom. Sweat covered his face as he struggled to breathe. Every movement drained what little strength he had left. Moments later, he knelt beside a bucket as his body finally gave way. When it was over, he remained there, weak and completely worn out. Yet even in that condition, Isaac slowly reached for a mop. With trembling hands and aching muscles, he cleaned the bedroom floor himself. Then he sat quietly on the edge of his bed. His eyes suddenly fixed on the old ceramic mug. In that instant, everything came rushing back. The house had been sprayed with insecticide the day before. The mug had been left on the kitchen counter. And that morning, he had used it without washing it. A wave of shock swept over him as he realized what might have happened. Just then, his mother appeared at the bedroom door. Seeing Isaac sitting there weak and exhausted, her face filled with concern as she gently asked if he was all right. Not wanting to worry her, Isaac assured her that he was feeling better, even though deep inside he was still afraid. Later that afternoon, he gathered enough courage to eat a small meal. Every bite was taken carefully, hoping his stomach would accept it. As the hours passed without another attack, he slowly began to believe the nightmare was finally over. But he was wrong. That night, at exactly 2 a.m., Isaac suddenly woke with a violent pain gripping his stomach once again. The fear returned instantly. Clutching his stomach in the darkness, he realized the battle wasn't over. With tears in his eyes, he slowly knelt beside his bed. There were no long speeches. No complicated prayers. Only the desperate cry of a frightened young man placing his life into God's hands. He prayed with all his heart, asking for just one more chance, one more sunrise. When morning finally came, warm golden light filled the room. Isaac sat quietly on his bed with tears running down his face. He was alive. The pain had gone. The swelling had disappeared. For the first time since that terrifying Sunday began, he smiled, not because everything had been easy, but because God had carried him through it. That day taught Isaac a lesson he would never forget. Sometimes, the smallest decisions carry the biggest consequences. Take your time. Don't let haste rob you of wisdom. And no matter how dark the night may become, never stop praying. Because sometimes, the greatest miracle isn't that the storm never came. It's that by God's grace, you live to see another sunrise.